Hi, so yet another Omarchy video. And if you looked at one of my last videos, I put Omarchy onto a T2 Mac, which is putting Linux on a T2 Mac is quite tricky. Putting anything on a T2 Mac is quite tricky because of the T2 security chip. But Omarchy went on there ridiculously easy. So I thought about this and I thought, obviously it's quite easy to put it on certain software, on certain hardware. So I had a rummage around and I tried to put it onto everything that I could to see if I could trip it up. But I have to say, the guys behind this have done a great job because it literally goes on everything. I've got it on, I'll put up some images in a minute and I'll show you what I've got it on so far. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go through installing it on this, which is it comes up into focus. There it is. No, it's in focus there. Oh, it's trying. Which is one of those NUC boxes. I'll put the specs up. And when we go through this one, there's a little tweak you have to do in the BIOS to get it to work. But the end result is it works amazingly. So, with Linux, it's sometimes a bit hit and miss, like Mint and things like if it picks up your Wi-Fi drivers and things like this, or there's a few bits missing when you get it on, and then eventually you can get it working normally. But this Omarchy goes on, just installs. It just works. I've got it on an old ancient MacBook Air. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll just go through the installation onto the NUC, and I'll also, along the way, when it's downloading, when it's sort of installing, I'll cut away and I'll talk about some of the other ones that I installed Omarchy. Anyway, so let's dive in. Okay, so Intel NUC, and I had with the USB in. I'm trying to get into the BIOS, and on one of these NUCs, it's like F7 or F2. It'll come up. I had to reboot this a couple of times to get this to work. We'll get there. I'm trying again here. Now, if you look, the spec of this machine, which I'm going to put up, it's rebooting. It's not hugely powerful. It's quite an old one. Here we go. But we're into the BIOS, and there's a very particular thing you have to do. You have to go through to find it. Go into boot, not boot. You have to go into boot fast boot. No. You have to do. No, it's not that one. Not that one. I found it in a minute. Otherwise, what it does, it boots into straight Arch, secure boot. You don't want that. Where was it? So I'm rummaging around in here. Boot configuration. I find it in a minute. But there's a tick box you have to do. Otherwise, what it does a weird thing. It boots directly into Arch installation, which is really frightening, and you don't want to go there. Instead of a Omarchy installation. So I'm thinking about this now. Bear with me. Where was it? It's no. Boot priority. Boot configuration. Main devices. Yeah, so it's got 32 gig of RAM. Cooling. Performance. Somewhere security maybe. That's it. So allow UEFI third-party drivers. You need to switch that on, otherwise you won't get the Omarchy thing. Switch off everything else you can. So disable that one, and don't worry about that. Intel trusted partner. All the rest of it was okay. So once that's done, yeah, it's just that top one you need, and then it'll go in. If you don't, it just brings up an Arch installer, which as I said, is like quite a concern. And off it'll go. So it'll give it a bit of a minute. And then it'll go in. So yeah, as this rumbles through, I've managed to get this on some old Mac. I might do this at the end of the video, actually. I said I'd do it at the beginning, but at the end of the video, I'll go through, I'll line up the ones I've gone through, and just sort of, we can have a quick look at the tech. But it's like really ancient Mac. So there's one Mac I've got left, a really old one. I haven't put it on yet. I mean, obviously a lot of it's to do. This has got 32 gig of memory, so it's quite snappy, even though it's quite a low spec machine. There we go. And it's going to boot. And there it is. So standard boot, and it's in. I've got this one here. I'm quite surprised. I mean, it's not for gaming or anything like that, but it's quite snappy. It's 32 gig of RAM. It's 2-core, 4-core. I'll put the spec. I said I'll put the specs up, but it's really quite snappy. And then I've got another one. Hold on a second. A slightly more recent model. They're both i7s, I think, and they're really quick when you've got this on there. So any of those nukes, and I think you can get these quite cheaply because obviously there's a lot of these new Ryzen machines coming out with the the G-Tech 7s and all this, and they're much more powerful to do development work on. But if you just need a machine to work on, like word processing, basic stuff, email, anything like that, even just like programming, you can edit Kden Live on it, that kind of thing. It's really good. I wouldn't recommend this for a Plex server. That's just not on the list for this because of the secure boot part where you have to log in and the disk is encrypted. The beauty of like a Plex server, and I've actually got a video somewhere on here how to make a Plex server with Ubuntu on one of these boxes. But basically the beauty of something like Ubuntu, you can just leave it headless and log in without having to, because you don't want, when you start a media server, you don't want to have to log in every time. You just want to turn it on, turn it off. So I wrote a script to do that. But you can't do it on this because you have to log in because the disk is encrypted. So anyway, so it's blitzing through now like a normal installation. And I was quite stunned that it was so easy to do this. Because I've literally, if you watch my other videos, I've installed so many Linux operating systems, and there's always something that happens. There's always like missing Bluetooth, missing Wi-Fi, network driver, video card adapter. There's always something that doesn't quite work, and you have to fiddle with it. Or sometimes it just doesn't even go in at all. But I can't fault this. This just goes on everything. So so we'll just whiz through this and put it on there. I mean, again, it's very dependent upon the hardware in the machine. So the MacBook Air, it's not as quick as it could be. I mean, I'll the spec of that in a minute. I mean, a lot of it's to do with the graphics, but I think Hyprland's is very sort of graphical, but not as heavyweight as something like Ubuntu or something for some reason. It's like if you've got XFCE on Mint, it's a lightweight interface. I think, I don't know, don't quote me, please remember to pay, tell me in the comments. Hyprland seems to be quite lightweight. So that's why it seems to work on these older machines, like really snappy. The one that I haven't, and I may have to get it out to do this, I might have to get the Mac 5.1 out again and just put it on the Mac 5.1 because I've nearly decommissioned that. I can't take that Mac 5.1 I got any further. I put a 5060 Ti in it. I put a Thunderbolt card in it. I blew the ROM so it can take the GPUs without the black screen at the beginning. Did everything to it. I think it's as far as it could feasibly ever go. It's a great machine. Served me well for 15 years. But now this is made very. It's a big old beast. So it's tempted me to get that thing back out just to stick this on it to see what happens on a Mac 5.1 because that's very old technology. So but this is great. I'm really impressed with this, and it's really interesting. I'm finding it hard switching back from Omarchy to my Mac. And I know that DHHU and people put this together, they're ex-Mac people. So it's like sort of it's really interesting where you feel you want to, you work on your Mac, you go back to this, and this is just so easy for me to use. You don't want to go back to the Mac anymore because it's very cluttered. Macs used to be clean, but this feels so cluttered working one of these now. But with this, it's all just panelled up for me. And it's brilliant, Anyway, so what are we going? We're still rumbling through the boot here. But yeah, I'm super impressed with this. It's really good. Keep going. Here we go. And how long did that take to install? 3 minutes, 41 seconds. So we'll reboot it now. And then when you reboot, it's great because it comes up and asks you to connect your Wi-Fi network, do your updates, and then you're good to go. I was more impressed by the T2 Mac because I just couldn't believe how easy that was to do the installation on T2 Mac. I spent 2 days trying to do it, even with all the help from T2.org, T2linux.org, to get Mint on there, and it was just a lot of it was mechanical though. It was the fact you had to have a wired keyboard to do the installation. So we're in. There you go. We're in. And there you go. So at the top, the update your system, start the Wi-Fi. So with this, it's a TUI. So now you use tab, find your network, spacebar, I do believe, brings up that, type your network in, then it's enter. TUI things throw me slightly. There we go. And we're off. We're scanning. And then go at the top, click on that, and then off we go. And it will now pull down all the updates, clean out all the orphan files that were there. Fantastic. It's so simple. I mean, honestly, even a Windows installations, you know, think about a Windows installation, all the rubbish. And at the end of a Windows installation, it isn't for you, is it? The end of a Windows installation. It's all about, will you take third-party information? Can we advertise to you? Do you mind if we send stuff back to the server? All that last part is some convoluted way to try and get information out of you. And then obviously they try and force you to sign into some online Microsoft account. You have to build a way around that to stop it. This is great. There's no login or anything, is there? You know, it's total freedom. You just install it, upload it, do it. You don't have to sign up for anything, do you? But I will say this. Because of this, I have signed up for Heymail, which is one of their products. It's actually quite good. And I'm not sponsored or anything, but Heymail is like a really good in-between land between Gmail and everything like that. I know Google are scanning my email all the time to sell me stuff probably, but Heymail's quite nice. I quite liked it, and they've actually hotkeyed it in here. So I thought, oh, okay. So I've got myself an account for that as well. Here we go. It's got a bit of downloading. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, very impressed. And if you have a look at I would recommend when you're doing this, have a look at the documentation, the learning section. Go to the Omarchy sort of area and read through. It's well written, but you'll also find stuff like extra wallpapers, how to do the wallpapers. The monitor bit was interesting. I've currently had to learn how to use NeoVim. I have no idea what that is, but I've now worked out that I means insert. Q, I mean, I'm just learning. It's nice. It's nice to learn new things, right? To move outside your comfort zone, especially with stuff like this. You know, because it's great. I'm now learning how to use I don't even know what NeoVim was until this program. So it's like colon WQ to write it and all this sort of business. But it's great to learn. And I mean, I know this is focused to developers and people like that, but I don't know. I think it's focused for everybody, really. It's a really cool installation. And it's really caught my attention. It's a shame. Oh, screensaver. It's a shame that Pop Cosmic Desktop came out. That's got the tiled Windows Manager. But it's not quite like this with the blank desktop, which I really like. I really like the fact there's nothing to distract me, and I just type. And I've rewired the hotkeys, so I just do Super D, don't do Docker. Super D DaVinci Resolve, which comes straight up, and I can work, which is great. So yeah, so really cool. Here we go. Got to blitz through. Nearly there. And then it's going to do a kernel update, so it's going to reboot, and that'll be the final reboot, and we'll be in. But how super simple was that? So I'm infused about this. I'm like gushing a little bit about it because it's just a much better way to do things, you know? Here we go. Kernel. Updated. Boom. And what will happen is it'll come back now, reboot, and it'll reboot onto the desktop. What I'll do then, the last part of the video, I'll just talk through the machines, give you the specs, talk about it, the other machines I put it on. There you go, back in Linux. So I'm getting out of focus here, bear with me. Got a bit green, like the Matrix. And then back in, and we should have the desktop. Super simple. But yeah, now we're back in and running on that one. Great. Yeah, I can't believe how quick it is as well. Anyway, all right. So now we'll talk about, I'll come off this and we'll just cut to sim. You won't see me anymore. I'm just going to cut back to full screen. There we go. Hopefully that's still recording. But what we'll do now is I'll just go through some cards and show you the Macs that I got installed, and I'll give you the specs of these machines as well that I did the installation on. Okay, here we go. This is the Mac Air that I put it on. It's an early 2015 machine. I got all the specs out of Fast Fetch, that when you go into Omarchy and then just pop them in. So basically it's the 8 gig one. And yeah, this is really snappy and works really well, which surprised me. It's only got a 1440 display, but by 900. But yeah, no, it works really well on this. Quite an early one. It's an i5, as you can see from the specs there, and only 4 threads. But it's sort of, if you try and run Windows on this one, it really clunks. And I've had Mint on it, and it was okay. But yeah, no, I really like this one. This is great. Works really well on this. Okay, so then we got the Mac Pro Retina 15, 2013 to 2014. These are like 10-year-old machines. Again, it works really well. It's got a weird display size on this. I had to go into the display config and change the scaling to 1.5 to get it to work. As you can see there, the display is at 1.5 in 15. But yeah, it's pretty snappy. The only thing is, it's picked up the NVIDIA GeForce GT 750M or whatever it is, but I don't know if it's actually using it, because I know it's like a dual card. The interface is quite slow. I've got to do a bit of research on this to see if it's fully using the NVIDIA bit, but it works okay. It works fine. Yeah, that machine's really battered, and it needs the trackpad doesn't work. The battery is bulging at the back. That's potentially a life-threatening situation there. But yeah, that machine needs a bit of a love and attention. But yeah, late 2013, 2014. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so this is the one we've just installed on, which is the NUC. This is an i7, as you can see at the top there, 7567U. So it's 4 threads. It's only got a 650 RX graphics thing. It's quite nice about this machine that it's got a Thunderbolt or USB Thunderbolt 3 on it, and it's also got space inside for a normal SSD, so you can put the NVMe in there and an SSD. And it works really well. But this is really snappy and works. This would be a great machine just to work on. And you can, if you have a rummage around on eBay, get these things quite cheaply. So all you need to do is have a fiddle with the BIOS I got at the beginning, and you can get this thing up and running. But yeah, no, this is great. I haven't tried games. I don't think iOS 650 graphics card is really going to be great for playing Cyberpunk 2077 on. But no, really capable little machine, and I'm sure you could do a lot with it if you had it. So that's why it's like useful. Much you could go on this lower older spec tech, and you get that sort of like speed and snappiness, and yeah, it's good. So this one worked really well. But you've just seen the video for it, haven't you? This is a slightly smaller, and slightly faster i7 box I had. Now, just a quick thing here. I took that picture on the floor of my living room and then got AI to mark out the background. But that's not the background. It just put somebody else's house in my picture, which is nice about AI. It sort of gives you some unexpected treats. Anyway, so again, 32 gig of RAM. No, is this 32? Yeah, 32. This one's a bit faster. I think the graphics is less powerful or more powerful than the previous one, but it works brilliantly. Can't get an SSD inside this box, so it's probably cheaper to buy. It's purely an NVMe, but these things come with Wi-Fi. You see there's tons of these, isn't there? There's like, GM Tech, Minis Forum, B-Tech make these machines, but this is a really old one. But again, if you just wanted to do like, I don't know, you just needed a machine to do schoolwork or something on like that, I don't know. But it'd be perfect for that kind of work. It's not geared up for any high-level development AAA games running, but if you needed something just to browse the internet or whatever, these things fit in your backpack or in your pocket, don't you? You just need a monitor. Anyway, yeah, so that worked pretty well. That was, again, just really simple installation. Now, this was the last machine I mentioned in the video. I hadn't put it on, and I put it on just for the video. And I think finally we were bridged too far for Omarchy. It went on, installs perfectly, but the Wi-Fi doesn't work. But come on, it's a MacBook Pro 9.2. I think I had Mint on this before, But yeah, so the Wi-Fi doesn't work on this one. But I mean, I might have a go at trying to get it to work. That could be interesting. But this is so far the only machine that just the Wi-Fi driver, just the TUI won't launch. I don't think the driver's installed properly. But I tell you what, though, it's really quick. I mean, it's only got a 1200 and it installs, the display properly, everything works, just apart from the Wi-Fi driver. So, that's an i5. I think it's got 16 gig. This one, yeah, 16 gig i5. I did have Linux Mint on this for ages. For ages it's been on this machine. But yeah, I mean, just running it compared to Mint on this, and Mint, I was using the Cinnamon desktop. I haven't tried the XFCE one, but yeah, no, it's really feels a lot quicker than when I've got Linux Mint running on this machine. So I don't know, I may have a feel with it anyway. That's the only machine so far of all those machines that I've had one driver issue, which is not bad really. I think there's a few of them. I think this has the same issue with Pop. It doesn't find the Wi-Fi and all things like that. So it's not alone, but that's the one machine. So it's not bad. I don't know. I don't remember how old a Mac Pro 9.2 is. It's quite old, isn't it? But yeah, so there you go. So thanks for watching. If you do find any tech and you want to just list it in the comments below about what you've managed to get Omarchy working on, that would be really interesting. And if anybody has an idea how to fix my Wi-Fi driver without me fiddling and breaking it, a simple way to do the Wi-Fi driver, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, as usual, thanks for watching.